Hello, hello, hello. So, I am back. This time we're on, basically going to pick up from where we were last time. So this is part 3 of effectively the second run on Interloper. Last time we made it, left out of Coastal Highway and made it to Mystery Lake. So we're basically going to be going around Mystery Lake, looking for a couple of items, in particular looking for a bedroll and a lantern. Let's see if I can find the door here. There we go. So we're going to see how the weather is outside. So this is decent weather for next thing I'm planning on doing. It's a little too dark to search inside, but this is nice weather for potentially harvesting a carcass, and there's frequently on Soccer and Interloper a deer carcass in a couple locations near here. Not necessarily in all of them at the same time, but in one of them usually there's a deer carcass. The moose is up. This is not great timing for moose. So we might have to change plans. So the carcass I was thinking of is usually right over there. It isn't right there. And the other one I normally check is actually behind the moose. So we might have a little bit of a fun time trying to figure out how to get past the moose in one piece.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
Yeah. That was part of the reason of coming outside. To see if we can find the carcass, because the carcass would present us with more of this resource called food. As well as some crafting materials for later making bow and survival clothing. I was seeing this burdock root here because we're apparently reasonably safe. Didn't we get all... I think there's a little cattails down there. Cattails blend in with the other plants. So you can be a little cheeky if you're really struggling to find the cattails. And if you turn the plants off, because the cattails are harvestables, they won't disappear, to make it easier to see them. But I find that a little G, so I'm not doing
Can't
that
feel my
intentionally.
feet.
If I do that, it'll probably actually be because I'm looking for my arrows from bow hunting, not to make finding cattails easier. Though it does really make cattails stand out if you're trying to make it
Too
a
much
little bit
stuff to
easier.
carry.
Why go back to the trailer to warm up? Because we're basically sort of stalling here until we can search the trailers better without having to waste a match. If you haven't seen the first two parts, this is the third part in this run. They should both be on YouTube.
Wait.
Well, actually, the first one's on YouTube. The second one I will be uploading later tonight. They will also be on Twitch, I think, for 7 days after they were streamed. So something like 6 days from now.
That'll come in handy.
You may be watching this in the future as a VOD on Twitch, in which case you might have a little bit less time to see them. But we're gonna dip back in here to warm up a bit. It's not gonna be bright enough for a little bit of time in game, but hopefully that's enough for us to. Well, it'll be more than enough time for us to do a few things, equipment-wise. So we're gonna process that birch bark. We're just gonna do mostly processing harvestables that we gain to both warm up and to pass some time. Mainly save matches, which I suppose in the long run isn't super important, but in the short term it's until we find more matches, it's useful not to burn through all of them. Because we've got, of the one box of matches we found, we only have 4
Someone's
left.
gotta go.
And we need to eat some food, so we'll eat candy bar, because it has condition, can wear out. It has the same calorie density from a carrying capacity standpoint as the cattails. Eat a couple cattails. As you can probably tell, I'm not running any mods, which makes eating large amounts of cattails a little bit tedious. Let's see how bright it is now. Okay, I'd like it to be a little bit brighter for searching around here. One thing I'll try very quickly is exiting and exiting the building. Sometimes that
Could end
helps
up being
with
useful.
making them brighter. And if it doesn't, and it did, well, it maybe helped a little. It helped a little. I can probably search in this light. This is about the minimum level of light I need to attempt to search this building. And even this is pretty dim. The other alternative I can do to pass some time productively is I have a book on fishing in-game. And I can read an hour of that book, because it's now bright enough in here to technically read by. How, for the person in the game, this is classified as bright enough for the read. But yet, for me, IRL, this is not searchably bright. I don't know. My capacity to read in the dark is worse than my capacity to search in the dark IRL, so I would not have expected that IRL myself. Let's just go over to the next one very quickly. I'll check to see if the moose is still there. That might affect which path I take over to the camp office. The camp office is where we're next. Okay, as the day brightens up, it's even brighter in here. That was one thing that can kind of happen when you're inside, is it doesn't necessarily update the brightness IRL, or brightness in game in real time. So sometimes it can lag, and that's why entering and exiting a place sometimes it can dramatically raise the brightness. 2-minute soup, that will be useful when we find a can opener, which we'll probably find in Pleasant Valley. We might, well, we probably won't make it to Pleasant Valley today. Because I'm going to probably stop playing after about an hour. Which, depending on how long it takes for me to explore and gather resources from Mystery Lake,
Wonder if I can drop
either,
any of this
well,
gear.
it might very well mean that I'm basically back where I am right now, where I'm gonna basically do the loop of Mystery Lake. I'm at least gonna do the loop of Mystery Lake. So if I'm running a little bit slow, we'll basically be back here, but with the loot from Mystery Lake. I don't see the moose. Which is good or bad? No, that is the moose. I see the moose. Okay. Yeah, I think we can be sneaky and pass along back here. Without the moose bothering us. Ideally, we'd want to be looking around about where the moose is for birchbark, which we can't do with the moose there, sadly. There's some birch saplings over there, but I'm not going to go grab them. We're not desperate for birch saplings anymore. I think kind of at this point, I don't really want to take more condition damage. We're taking about as much condition as I want before on a long rest. So if anything, I need to burn more fatigue. So we're gonna do some sprinting here. To get down to the titular Mystery Lake of the Mystery Lake zone. I'm expecting somewhere along here we'll probably find. Well, we found a wolf, which is not what we wanted, but it's what we'll live with. Scare off that wolf. And is the deer carcass there, I think? Yeah. The question is it too windy for us to harvest? I don't like that sound. That sound is sounding very... I'm gonna kill your torch sound. I'm gonna finish to kill my fire. And I don't really want to start a fire if it's immediately gonna go out. Nothing in here. The torch is holding up, and it doesn't sound like the wind's getting any worse. So maybe I will attempt that fire. Okay, so just gonna change torches. That one's about to burn out. Oh, we failed the first light attempt. As windy as it sounds in game, it's apparently not too windy. This isn't the best place to harvest deer from, though. So if the wind says nay, I might give up on harvesting this deer.
It worked.
But apparently the slope here is just enough shelter to class as sheltered. So digging into the deer we do. So those will be boiled in a half an hour, so we'll use a half an hour to take a gut off. And we can drink one of these. And then pick it up, replace it with the meat we got. Fill the oven back up with water. Saw off the second cut.
I could eat a horse.
It's on the floor. Got 10-15 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and prepare one of those rose hips. Which will mean those will both finish cooking. I'm gonna eat the food. Drink the water. And then we can start another batch of water. I throw a couple sticks on. And then we're going to harvest this hide. And it's a little bit easier, quicker to do with bare hands rather than with the tool in this case. The other corpse had to be a certain degree of defrosted for that, which is why we did the hide last. I've got some tea. Might actually drink that Birchbark tea for the condition regain on the trip. Make use of time to convert resources into other resources. Okay, we're probably gonna aggro that wolf. Yeah, picking up the guts aggroed that wolf. That wolf's not in our way, so I'm just gonna let him follow us. Still following us. If we get lucky, we might be able to shed his desire to chase us onto something else like the deer or the rabbits. Oh, that wolf just failed to charge on a deer. Oh, I guess we lost the wolf. I wasn't expecting to lose the wolf. And this wolf is going to leave us a bunch of tasty, tasty food. When opportunity presents itself, don't tell opportunity that it can't reward you. I will very happily take this deer in this circumstance. So this is a good and very convenient find. We'll get a bunch of meat off of this guy. We'll probably leave most of this meat at the camp office. We won't carry it around with us because it will attract all the wolves. But in the short term, this will solve a lot of the food problems, and we don't eat all of it. Cooking 5 later. We'll have to use it as survival food later on. Going through the call a bit fast. We are eventually going to approach a place soon that will let us harvest a bunch of coal, so I'm not too worried about it. Same thing as before. Whenever you have a fire going, always take advantage of getting as much fuel out of it as possible. Let's do all 4. You're getting as much water out of the fuel as possible to not waste the fuel. Yeah, you're gonna go from being hungry to being very full soon. So those are just short of an hour, so we'll spend an hour harvesting this.
All I could think about is food.
Well, good thing there's a whole pile of food there for you to eat. Maybe not necessarily a very productive use of an in-game day, it's a very productive use of that carcass. So we'll have a bunch of calories in this character's belly, so we should be getting well fed very early this run. I need to make use of the quarter action in this situation, so as to not waste the fire as much. There we go. And the blizzard rolls up, which isn't super good. There's some things I can do to sort of take advantage of the situation. I suppose one of the things I can do to take advantage of the situation is the blizzard is not actually stopping me from cooking. Because in this situation, the blizzard has decided to be not actually put my fire out. And apparently I picked up well fed here already, so I got more carcass, so that's nice. Well, if the blizzard isn't going to take my fire, I'm going to keep cooking. I'll have to be a little bit more careful with the fire. Now that we have a blizzard going. Don't want to fuel it up too much. The blizzard can take the fuel value out of it at any given moment. If I need to, this blizzard will actually be semi-advantageous to me. Because this should have despawned all the wolves. So it should be a clear shot, albeit a very cold shot, to the camp office. That cooking too? This would be one situation where also having a bedroll would be useful. So when you've got big cooking situations like this, where you can basically put your food on to cook, get in the bedroll for an hour, pop out, put the next batch on to cook. Was that the wind changing that took my heat value? I think it was. In which case I'm going to watch it. If it drops down to 9 minutes again, and that's the wind changing direction. And if it is, then that's the end of our fun cooking session here. And we're going to have to make a quick trip over to the camp office. I guess I probably took it when it changed directions. Up pretty well. I'm gonna drink up this rosehip because it's gonna get real cold real fast. We're gonna take the last torch here. That's probably gonna get blown out 5 seconds after we leave. This'll look.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
And off we go. Oh dear, the wolf did not despawn, so we gotta be split quick about it. It is behind us, which means we should still have a clear shot to the camp office. Still kind of here in the distance back there. I can't see it, which is fine. Sprinting in this weather anyway. entrance side. The camp office, if memory serves. Bit hard to tell in the blizzard. If it isn't, we're gonna have a problem. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, there's the. Oh, I went past the camp office. That's bad.
Need to find some place
We're gonna get in the door anyway, so we have successfully avoided that wolf.
I might have to drop some gear.
We didn't take any damage from getting coal. Really, the only big thing that we sort of didn't succeed very well in there is it's already fairly dark when we get here, so it's going to be hard to figure out where we want all the things to be. I left 2 of the guts behind. We can get them in the morning when it's not blizzarding. So let's leave a note. So it's day 5 camp office. And ML. Yeah, 2 deer hides and 2 guts. Now we're going to have to look around, which means we are going to have to light a torch and burn a match. Book that we're not going to use. Whetstone we're not going to use. Already where I wanted anyway, so I'll leave the whetstone there. Probably want to move the book on the floor so I can recognize that I found it and I haven't used it. Cooking oil. Cooking skillet. Some salt. So now I got a full set of cooking gear. That's great. We got lots of hidden potatoes around here. Got a hidden potato there, hidden potato there. There's the bedroll. So one of the 2 major items we wanted to find in Mystery Lake, we have found. So that's a good start. That's one of the reasons we actually came to the camp office. There's a decent chance of having that spawn. Not usually where I'd expect it to be in this building, so I would not. Well, it's probably not going to have 2 in here. That's pretty likely to not be the case. So it's going to be one. Usually I find it's like up here in the corner somewhere. But today it was under the stairs. Sadly, well, I suppose with how good this has been, it's not unexpected.
Need to rest soon.
But we haven't found any matches. Haven't found any additional ignition. It's fairly common that Mystery Lake as a whole doesn't actually have any good ignition, which is one of the things you can get caught off guard on Interloper difficulty. It's a fairly common place to have either a fire starter or a lens, scope lens, but it doesn't always have any other ignition. So we're gonna put this fire out. We're gonna drink up and we're gonna sleep the night away. $10 to maximize healing. Well, granted, we're not going to make it to 10 hours. I don't think our character is that tired, so it's going to wake us up prematurely because we're fully awake. Oh, in fact, I'm wrong. It did actually take us the full 10 hours because we're thirsty. If I wanted to maximize water, I could have gone downstairs to eat before drinking. But we've got lots of water, so that's not really a problem. I'm try. Oh, I'm not tired enough to sleep for 1 hour. Okay. So, can we see enough of the building to exit the building? Answer is yes, just barely. So, the light of that window is letting me tell myself where I am in the building, so I can path down to get out of the building. Memory serves, we left a pair of guts behind, so if it's not a blizzard out here, it is a blizzard out here. We're not leaving the blizzard. Well, we're not going back to where those guts are with the blizzard, because I won't find them in the blizzard. Let's try to pass some time to brighten it up and hopefully pass the blizzard. The easiest way to do that productively is to read 1 hour at a time out of our frozen angler until it's either bright enough, the blizzard passes, or until we finish the book. We're probably not going to finish the book because that would have been three full hours, 3 full reads. It is bright enough that we can do a quick search, make sure we didn't miss anything with the torch. The answer appears to be no. The thing we probably would have missed if we'd missed something would have been a box of matches. Okay, blizzard has passed, so we'll take a bit of a backtrack to go get those guts. Short on stones, I haven't been retrieving them all after throwing them at rabbits, so we'll grab a couple stones. And to keep this circle productive, I'm going to do Mystery Lake while we're at it. So that path over there, it sort of follows the river back towards the dam is where we left the guts. That's what we're going to do at the end of this loop. On the way back to the camp office. We have full health, so I'm just going to, if we get too cold that we start taking additional damage, just take a little bit on the chin. Because at some point we'll take a 10-hour rest like we just did, which will heal a bunch of it. Heal like 40% of it, so we're basically willing to be cold for an hour or two a day if we're resting like that. So we got one house up over there, one house over there. Okay, so we got 2 houses, and then we'll hit the 2 fishing huts on the way back. I suppose we'll also check to see if the bear is up. Though we don't need to get to the bear spawn to see if the bear's up here, because we'll see the bear on the lake. If we see the bear on the lake, we know the bear spawns up, and that'll be useful to know for the future. I tend to have fairly good luck hunting the bear on this lake with the bow.
Can't feel my hands.
Whereas, well, we already know there's 2 bear spawns on Coastal Highway. Both of them are on the bear spawns. I'm not particularly great at hunting or hunting myself. So I prefer not to be forced to hunt the bear at those locations. Quick look by the fact that I can't see a bear on the lake would imply that we do not have an active bear spawn here.
Die if I don't warm up soon.
Which is a bit of a shame. It's not necessarily the worst. There's usually only 1 or 2 bears up in Mystery Lake. And all the ones in Mystery Lake are usually generally fairly easy to hunt.
What if the owner's around?
That one in particular I find particularly easy, but that's because you can take advantage of some of the ice physics to avoid it. As well as the invisible door on the fishing hut. Is the new one better than the old one? It is.
Never felt so cold in my life.
You can see the crows, so that's probably a human corpse, which an interloper will usually have nothing. So it's worth checking, because it can have construction, or have synthetic goods, like matches, that you can't find elsewhere, but the probability of it having anything is fairly low. Oh, actually, all three of these are up. Surprising. So that increases the chance we find matches. Doesn't guarantee it. In fact, it doesn't really change it all that much. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Let's just hope we can turn the tinder if we didn't already gather all the cattails.
Goddamn freezing.
As you can see, I'm not pausing to actually read notes like that. If you're interested in reading them, I think they're all publicly posted on the wiki. But most of them aren't really telling me anything particularly useful in game, so I don't necessarily take the time to read them.
So cold.
I'm basically scanning. We're looking for clothes. We're looking for minor food edibles. Occasionally we might find matches in these sort of environments, and matches would be probably the best hit we're going to find in these houses that aren't always here. On Interloper, these are all random spawns, so they may or may not be here, and sort of mission critical equipment don't spawn in those sort of buildings.
Wait. I'm so cold, I'm warming up again.
So yeah, initial impressions suggest that the bear is not up. Because we should have seen him by now if he was up. And on Interloper, you don't get all the bear spawns in Mystery Lake. You usually only get 2. I think there's at least 4 different places they can spawn, so it's not surprising that this one isn't up. As the fact there's only 2 of them does mean that there's a decent probability that he isn't going to be here. Once again, looking for anything we can find. I think this one's more likely to spawn, so there's maybe a little higher probability here. This one has a set of matches, but immediate results say no. Yeah, immediate results say no. Don't see crows. Sometimes there's a human corpse at the end down there.
Too cold to think.
Oh, no, I can now see the crows. So there is a human corpse down the end there. That again, as most human corpses are on Interloper, probably doesn't have any of the items we're looking for. The best item it'll probably have on it is matches, but the most likely situation is it will have nothing at all. And nothing in the stove. Whetstone. We're not going to leave the whetstone there. It'll be more useful someplace else. Ah, the heavy hammer. I was not expecting to find the hammer in Mystery Lake, but we found the hammer. So the question is, do we go to a forge? Ooh, do we go to a forge? Forge would mean axe and knife. In exchange for delaying going up to get the backpack. I think the answer is probably I will delay the forging, so I'll probably leave this hammer in the camp office. where we're gonna probably warm up again. So we're gonna go get those 2 guts that we left behind earlier, and drop them, the hammer, off at the camp office. I'm a little worried with condition loss from cold here, so I'm going to start sprinting a bit to clear the remaining objectives a little faster. Because at this point, the only thing we find that would be really super interesting in Mystery Lake would be either the magnifying lens or the the magnifying lens or the fire starter. And I think the more common of the two would be the magnifying lens to find. More fuel that we don't need.
What have we here?
Yeah, it's potentially interesting. Yeah. Oh, the other thing we're still looking for that we might find out here in Mystery Lake is we might find the lantern. We might find the lantern.
I'm gonna have to leave something
And the lantern
behind.
would make it a lot easier to traverse caves, because I don't have to burn matches on every cave we come across to see through them. Especially seeing as we haven't found any matches yet. So we're getting uncomfortably short on the number of matches. That wolf is between us and those guts. Do I want to... Do I really want the guts that badly? Yeah, I do want the guts that badly. That's probably being greedy, but depending on the circumstances, greed is good. On the other hand, that means he will detect me on the way back, so I'll have to skip the last fishing hut. I suppose that would be one place to potentially lose him, is I could duck in the fishing hut, drop the guts, which will despawn his aggro. You can see the guts from here. He'll probably aggro on me the moment I grab these guts. The dreaded walking into the wind. As I suspected, he sees me as soon as I grab the guts, so he'll be on my tail until I duck into a building to escape his aggro. I'm just going to bet that the first fishing hut doesn't have anything super useful. The best thing it could have for me is it has a very low chance to actually have that lantern, but it probably doesn't. I'm more likely to find the lantern at the Trapper's Cabin, which is actually the next place we go, so I'm not going to stop there. Doubly so with the wolf on my tail. It would, in theory, be a place to shed the wolf, but that's one of those sort of I know it'll work, but it shouldn't work things, because it doesn't have a door in that one. But going on one of those huts and closing the door would make sense to shed a wolf. The ones without the doors work just the same, but it doesn't seem like they should, so I try not to game the system like that. If you were here at the beginning of the video, and you heard me said that I was probably going to stop when I finished Mystery Lake, I might decide to cut it a bit earlier, because this is taking a little bit more time than I was expecting it to, but we're making really good progress. Right? We found, of like the 3 critical items we wanted to find,
I need to drop
we
something.
found one of the ones we weren't expecting to find, and found one of the ones we were expecting to find. Well, we were expecting that would potentially be able to find. Right, pick those up because they're in the way. I'm gonna put them in the speaker space over here. So the guts go there, and the hides go here. You can see how they're working. And then for rabbit traps later, we'll dump off a bunch of reclaimed wood. And then we'll update our statements here. Say 4 and 3 reclaimed wood. This is one of the few places that I will use in-game as a rabbit hunting spot, where I'll put the rabbit traps up to get a lot of rabbits. It's often not worth your time to get a bunch of rabbits because they're not very good sources of food. But you do need them for crafting every once in a while. The rabbit gloves and hat are some of the best interloper items. Are we already below 50% fatigue? We are below 50% fatigue. I do need to warm up a bit before I move on to the next objective, which will be Traverse Cabin. I might call it for the end of the stream at Traverse Cabin, because of how long it's taking. Or at least break the video up there. That would probably be a video break spot. I might not stop the stream. No one's actively watching the stream, but I might not stop the stream at this point. But I'm going to go Trappers. I'm at least going to take a break in the recording at that point. Should probably get there in the next 10 or so minutes. So it might be a little bit of a short video, but we don't need that with us. We don't need that with us. Which one of these haven't we used? We haven't used that one, right? Yes. Okay, so we'll finish using that one before we have any more. This is a good place to leave the whetstones because we don't need to carry around things like that. We do need to warm up, so the question is, do we warm up in a bed or reading a book? I think we're going to read a book to warm up. It's not warming up as rapidly as I was expecting. How warm are we in here? Is it closed or something that's futzing with us? Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's warm enough to make it to Trappers, so we're going to go to Trappers. Weather went worse. This is not a blizzard, this is just precipitation and light fog.
Fingers feel numb.
Yeah, I can imagine your fingers, if you're stuffing them into the snow to pick up sticks, they're going to get numb real quick. And he wasn't that warmed up from our short hour-long stint inside. So you can take a slight shortcut through here to get to Trappers a little faster than the path I'm taking. I'm taking the path I'm taking because I'll run past a bunch of potential birch bark spawns in the way.
So cold.
And also the direction I'm going is a little bit less likely to run me right through a bunch of wolves. Blizzard has just kicked up. So we'll stop from slow walking to running. I guess they're a little faster. Oh, there's a wolf. I was hoping to avoid the wolves going that way. apparently I was wrong. Still fairly easy to navigate where I'm going in a blizzard. Because what I'm going is basically on the edge of the map, so I can follow the edge of the map. That's why I had to, or why I was going the way I was going. It's a little steeper than I would like, but early enough it shouldn't be a problem, which it wasn't. If you're desperate to shed the wolf in this environment, the flare is your option. That's why I keep flares on me. Yeah, he's still back there. Right now, I know I'm going to a hard door that I can pass through to shred him. So, as long as he's behind me and I'm making decent time, I don't mind him back there. It is a little heart-wrenching, or heart-beating inducing. I suppose I should probably be trying to speak up a bit in here, because the blizzard's probably drowning me out a bit, which I suppose is very thematic, though. If you're caring about what I'm saying, that's maybe not the best for enjoyment. So as you see, I found a birch bark. Probably could have found more birch bark. There's probably an extra piece out there. If I wasn't trying to avoid the wolf while trying to make it in this blizzard. But one piece of birch bark is better than no pieces of birch bark. So we should be coming up shortly on a cave on the left. If I need more coal, I can dip into that cave for coal. What I'll probably do is I'll take a look through trappers first. If we decide that coal is good, we'll dip into the cave after trappers. So there's the cave. That is the cave to Mountain Town. Transition cave to Mountain Town from Mystery Lake. We would have to climb to get into Mountain Town, and other than guaranteed match spawns, right? So we'd be able to go get a couple matches, at least 6 matches up there. There isn't a good reason to go up to Mystery Town or Mountain Town yet. It also goes by the name of Milton. I think Mountain Town is what the devs called it before they decided on the name Milton. And then it was so stuck that they couldn't get it to change in the community, so it's still known in the community as Mountain Town. Even though it's basically the Mountain Town of Milton. We've made it to Trappers. It's bright enough in here. I'm going to go ahead and search this before calling it in the stream. So we're not going to log off right away, but we're only going to be here on for a little bit longer. Once again, this is the 3rd part in this run. All of them for the next couple days will still be on Twitch. By the time they're no longer on Twitch, so if you can see this one, ooh, I just found magnifying lens. By the time you can see, or if you can see this one on Twitch, and you can't see the other ones, they will probably all be on YouTube by that point. So if you're looking for them and want to see them from the beginning, it's the same username as Twitch plus 100 on the end, so it's willcall100. You can see them on YouTube. They should all be up, at least up and visible by the time they're no longer visible on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube and you're wondering why you can't see them on Twitch, it's probably been more than 7 days since I streamed them. Not 5, not 10, not 15. We're just going to do this safe quickly. Not 25, not 30, not 35. That was like 37, so around one more time to 37. 38. Not 15, not 10, not 5, not 0. 50. Okay, so it's 30, 38, 48, Oops. Past 38. Round again. 38. 48. 35. That is fully random, so you'll have to do the
think I can use
sort of
this.
gimmicky thing every time. And the loot in there wasn't that great this time. But, so don't try to memorize the combination I just put into it. It won't necessarily be the same combination when you're doing it in your own game. But yeah, that's roughly what we're going to call it for the night. Or at least call it for this stream, or this recording. I might keep the stream going and continue going. But we're going to take a long rest here as far as this video is concerned. And I may pick it back up again shortly, so on YouTube. See you in a bit. No one's currently viewing. Well, is coming really hard to tell. I'm going to take a short break because I need to use the facilities. So